episode of Super Reaction Bros. I'm Kristen.
I'm Christopher.
And on today's episode, we're taking a look at the Screw Attacks Top 10 Pixar movies. Now, before we start, I gotta ask, is Incredibles 2 in your top 10 now?
Yes.
Okay, now, with that being said, honestly, anybody who's been with for the last couple of years know you're a massive Pixar fan. You've already seen Incredibles 2. I really want to get to this, see what they consider the top 10 best.
For me, I could get this out of the way right now. My number one overall is still, no matter what, is the first Toy Story movie. It's the one that really got me into where I'm at, pretty much, that I'm still trying to push forward and pretty much get into animation overall. Just the style, the way it started off, pretty much computer animation film. So the Toy Story overall is still my number one favorite for me.
I really don't know. I haven't really thought. I've honestly never really thought about my favorite Pixar movie. There's a lot of them I enjoy. The original 3 Toy Story movies I love. Incredibles I liked. Inside Out was really good. I know there's one I haven't seen yet that I still need to. Well, I mean, not including Incredibles 2, but there's one I still haven't seen. I can tell you my worst, but that'd be easy. But like,
you had to choose one though. That's the question. For your number one, at least your number one. I'm not saying name your top 10. No, I'm saying your number one.
Honestly, Toy Story 3.
The third one.
The third one. The first one's still good. Okay, first 2 are still great, but what the third one does so well is touch on a fact of what the villain from the second one said, is that you will be forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you will be forgotten. And it actually tackled that subject of being forgotten. Like, Andy's growing up, he's going to college, he doesn't need his toys anymore, so there's that weird thing of what's next for them. Where do they go after their owner's grown up? It doesn't need them anymore.
Yeah.
And I did that subject so well, and even the end made me tear up a little, pretty much.
Oh, it made me. I was bawling like there's no tomorrow in that theater.
And that would have been a great finale, but no, we have to do a 4 fucking Toy Story movie. That's a story for another day.
Anyways, let's dive right into this. This is Screw Attack's top 10 Pixar movies. Right? Yeah, movies. So here we go.
And it may change down the road, so it could be Toy Story 2 by the end of this.
Animated movies, pretty much nobody does it like Pixar. Ever since they first blew the world away in 1995 with their first feature film, people have been debating, how do you rank the Pixar movies? Not only are we going to answer that question, but we're going to make it even harder with our one per franchise rule. So get ready for
so there's probably only one Toy Story, one Cars, and one Incredibles. Sorry, Chris.
Number 10.
After taking us through the world of toys, Pixar's second ever feature film,
Bug's Life.
A Bug's Life. If anybody remembers the movie Three Amigos, that's a lot like what this film is. You got a group of performing circus bugs who everyone else thinks are warrior heroes, but when a gang of bad guys comes into the picture, they've got to become those heroes for real. When you compare it to all the other incredible movies,
I forgot about Wall-E and Finding Nemo.
Okay, by comparison. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a solid movie,
20
but it doesn't really smack you with those big, heartfelt moments like Pixar's best films do. And also, the next runner-up was Cars, and like, heck am I putting that in this top 10? Besides, A Bug's Life has retroactively become an even better movie because the Kevin Spacey character gets what he deserves in the end.
Oh!
Number 9.
Damn!
11 minutes and 33 seconds. I swear, nobody talks about the movie Up beyond the first 11 minutes and 33 seconds.
I know, right? When it first starts.
Yes, that montage is a real heartbreaker, but every time I get to the big finale, I always go, wait a minute, how did we get here again? But you know what? Upwood still deserves this spot, even if that opening was all it had going for it.
Yeah.
It's still got great characters, some of the funniest moments in any Pixar movie. Humble opinion.
Let me in.
The whole concept of flying your house away to off land. But then, like, there's a dog fight that's got actual dogs. And they choose squeak toys to fire machine guns, and how did we get here again?
Number 8.
Monsters, Inc. is one of those amazing ideas for a movie that everyone can connect to.
Yeah.
Every child thinks there's monsters in their closet, and every child was right. And it's not a premise that loses steam halfway through the movie. There is so much to explore in this rich world, but at the same time, the movie doesn't waste time to deviate from its core. It's precious,
Giddy.
adorable Coraline. How could you not love Boo? You really see these characters grow to love her and fight for her, and then we have the teary goodbye. Oh, my heart!
God, yeah.
Oh, and that sequel.
Oh, God.
The sequel tease at the
Pixar
end.
heartbreak. And that all comes after one of my favorite set pieces ever to be put into a movie, the chase that jumps through the doors that
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yes.
the monster world. Oh, it's so cool.
Number 7.
Mom? Dad?
Oh, yeah.
Finding
Where
Dory.
are my parents?
I still haven't seen that one either.
Hey, if you thought Finding Dory was going to be on this list and not the original, I'm so sorry, baby Dory. You may be the most adorable dang thing I've ever seen,
no.
but you and I both know you can't measure up to Finding Nemo.
Nemo.
This movie
Oh
offers
my
up
God.
everything we've come to know and love about Pixar.
do,
It's packed with humor, has an emotional center driving the characters and story, and it takes us to a new world of animation under the water. Personally, I've always remembered Finding Nemo as one of the funniest Pixar
Oh,
movies.
yeah, her.
Dory, Bruce and his sharks, the Tank Gang, and Crush the Hippie Sea Turtle.
Do the
There's
sharks
so
show up
much
again in the
to
sequel?
enjoy. And I mean, it's
No.
Ah,
oh
damn.
shoot, what was I gonna say? I totally had a great final point to like take the whole thing home with, but I forgot it. Hi, I'm Nick.
Hi,
Nick.
I love movies. I love watching them, making them, and talking about them. And one thing you've got to love about filmmaking is how visual this medium is. Yeah, I know it sounds obvious, but like these days there are so many movies that tell you everything through dialogue instead of
No, next
showing
one's
you who
Wall-E.
these characters are.
Give me.
This is
You
one of
let,
the
Yep.
biggest reasons
let him
I
get
love
to it.
I'm sorry, just the way he's talking about it's Wall-E.
Quietest movie.
10 years ago.
Dialogue for most of the film, but the story it tells is still as heartfelt and
damn it.
impactful as you would
See, this is
expect
what I
from
mean.
a
It could
young
change my
studio. To
favorite
this day,
one.
I'm still blown away by what Pixar was able to accomplish here. But if there's one thing to complain about here, it's that Wall-E's got a teeny bit of what I wasn't a big fan of with Up. Cause like, you're loving this silent robot love story, but then, whoops, here's all these fat people rolling.
You're like, well, how the hell did we get here?
How did we get here again?
They do it so well where you forget.
Man, if you thought the 11-year wait for Toy Story 3 was a long time, The Incredibles didn't get its highly requested sequel until 14 years later. That is some serious cultural impact, man. The original Incredibles movie is a
yes.
family film in the truest sense of the word. Anyone who watches it can find themselves in at least one of the characters. That could be Bob longing for the old days, Helen just wanting stability, Dash being told he shouldn't be his very best, Violet's crippling shyness, or Jack not being toilet trained yet. Hey, I'm not judging. It was so easy to fall in love with the Incredibles art style, the retro spy thriller style score,
Yeah.
and one of the very best villains in a movie with
Oh, yes.
superheroes. Yeah, I said it. Syndrome even gives Thanos, Doc Ock, and Killmonger worthy competition. Just like Mrs. Frozone to her ice-powered husband, The Incredibles is the greatest good we are ever gonna get.
Number 4.
I'll be perfectly honest here. I was not super
Coco.
excited for Coco. It was in development for years, and it seemed so similar to that other movie that came out 3 years prior. But then there I was in the theater on Thanksgiving watching this movie with my family, and I just loved it, man. I was pleasantly surprised with how fun and vibrant everything in this movie was. And I know you can say this about every Pixar movie, but come on, it has incredible animation. On top of that, Coco honors Mexican culture and covers a lot of weighty themes like death and remembering your ancestors and the power of music. And even though it was kind of easy to see where the plot was going, I was still so into
Yeah.
You were still drawn into it.
Oh, not that scene, not that
I will
scene.
tell ya, he was not just strumming that guitar. He was strumming on my heartstrings.
There are heartstrings.
Number 3.
Here it is,
Ratatouille.
my own personal
Ratatouille.
favorite Pixar movie.
personal
Ratatouille is such an oddball film, and I am in love with it for that.
I still like
It's a
that.
rat named Remy who dreams of being a master chef, so he pilots the bumbling linguini like a Gundam, and together they
Like a Gundam.
change both of their lives forever. But the cool thing is that for all the time the movie spends in the kitchen and around food, it's not about the cooking. It's about passion, whatever yours may be. Drawing, singing, programming, counting 10 things on the internet every week. I don't know, maybe some idiot out there likes doing that. But one of the very best things I can possibly say about Ratatouille is that the story doesn't feel like any other I've seen. Chef Skinner basically ends up getting his revenge in the end, the whole kitchen staff straight up quits, and the beloved restaurant gets shut down. But through it all, Ratatouille never fails to make me feel three things.
I did love that ending.
Nostalgia.
It's like
Nostalgia.
I still have no
It's
idea
like, what do you
Ratatouille is
expect?
actually.
There's a
I
bunch
just
of rats in the
know that I would
kitchen.
eat that.
Number 2.
All right, this is the part of the top 10 that I've been dreading like a dip in a junkyard furnace because of our one per franchise rule. Buckle up, kids. We're gonna Old Yeller 2 Toy Story movies. Now, before everyone crucifies me in the comments, just remember that your pain is my pain too.
Oh, this is their number 2.
Okay.
Okay, damn, okay.
When I look at this trilogy, Toy Story 2 is like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. But 1 and 3, both of them are 10 out of 10.
Yeah!
Only 2 movies left. We're gonna settle this the only way that makes any sort of sense at all. A coin flip. Heads is Toy Story 1.
Ah!
Scientific. Here we
1
go.
or 3?
Well, there you have it. Toy Story 3.
Yeah!
Man, like, if you could see my face right now, I would be looking like Fry after he was sentenced to death by Snoo Snoo. But you know what? I live in a world where Toy Story 3 is 100% officially declared to be the best in the series. The original movie was about the fear of being replaced, but I would say that 3 took that to the next level.
Thank
The
you!
fear of becoming obsolete entirely.
What?
Yeah, just about every Pixar movie can say that on some level, but let's face it, it's pretty tough to do it better than Toy Story 3.
The furnace
And even though
scene,
some
man.
people would say that 3 preys on our nostalgia for the other movies too much, that actually makes its themes about growing up and moving on from the past, which is something that literally everyone's got to do at some point, way more impactful. That's why the ending of Toy Story 3 always makes me freaking cry,
It
just 10
does.
minutes after another scene that always makes me freaking cry.
yes.
The furnace.
Even more than I want to cry from kicking Toy Story 1 off the list, but still not quite as many emotions as number 1.
Ah, god damn it! I know what he said!
Number 1.
Oh.
There was a time when Pixar could do no wrong. For 15 years, this powerhouse of animation put out hit
It's Inside
after
Out,
hit
isn't it?
after hit. It was amazing. The summer became
It's the
the
only
time
one I
to
can
see
think
what the
of
studio
that can
had in
be the
store
top.
for us. And then Cars 2 crashed into our lives, and Pixar was content with making sequels. It was, dare I say it, a bleak time watching monsters go to college and curly-haired redheads change into
Oh, it's
bears
not
back into their
Brave.
moms. Yeah, Brave was okay, I
It's
guess.
Inside
We
Out.
weren't sure
It's
Pixar was
Inside
ever
Out.
going to climb back up to the top and give us something that would make us laugh and cry again. And that made us sad. That made us
There
Oh,
it is.
god damn
very
it.
sad.
Inside Out.
And then this wonderful, creative, and moving adventure came into our lives. Inside Out was such a breath of fresh air. It took something as
Yeah,
complex as
this
our
was their
memories and
comeback.
emotions
This
and
was their
personified
comeback.
them
This
in
was
such
their
a
comeback
clever
film.
and masterful way. I'm not just talking about how surprisingly accurate it is explaining how our brains work. I mean that this movie dumps truckloads of feels on you.
Yes, it does.
His honor is steep, but I'm just gonna say it. Bing Bong's death is the single
God
greatest
Oh my
adventure
god.
No,
and
fuck.
most importantly, Inside Out makes the case that there are no bad emotions and that it's good to express your feelings, even sadness.
You need all your
Something this
emotions.
smart and well made in the form of a colorful animated film is exactly why we love Pixar. And it's what makes them one of the greatest animation studios ever. And now it's time to break the rules with our secret number 11. Contrary to popular belief, Luxo
Oh,
Jr. is
Luxo
not the first
Jr.
film, but it's for
the
sure
one-
one of their most important.
Oh, honorary
See Andre and
mention.
Wally B introduced in every feature film all these decades later, do ya? Without any camera movements, voices, or even facial expressions,
That was-
Luxo Jr. still made you feel sorry for that poor baby lamp when his toy breaks.
Yeah.
Aww.
God
Oh,
damn
God
it.
damn it.
Toy Story 3 got decided by a fucking coin flip, and thank fucking God. Holy So he had to decide which one would be higher, 1 or 3, and on a coin flip, 3 was higher. And I was right. It does what we feared in 1,
Yeah.
does what warned us in 2, and just brings it all on the table in 3. Whether it's the God damn it. Where it's when he says so long. God damn it, I can't do it. So long, partner.
God damn it, stop that. Stop it, you got me emotional. The emotions.
The furnace scene.
Yeah.
Where they've accepted their fate. That one brief moment where they've accepted their fate in the furnace. And just, like he said, the entire trilogy is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And they're fucking up by doing a fourth one for some reason.
I have no idea.
But, yeah, the third one, I was doubting it halfway through, but then when he popped up Toy Story 3 at higher on the list, I knew my judgment was sound.
Yeah.
There was a couple I admit, there was a couple I forgot about. There was quite a number I forgot about, and I still haven't seen.
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen The Good Dinosaur, Incredibles 2, and Finding Dory. Those are the only three I haven't seen. I've seen Cars 3. It's better. All I can say, it's not good, but I can at least say it was better than 2.
Yeah.
But that's all I can say about Cars 3.
Only one I haven't seen so far.
And Good Dinosaur
is Cars 3 myself. I haven't seen Cars 3 yet.
Have you seen Good Dinosaur?
I've seen Good Dinosaur.
How was that?
It was alright.
I mean, like, if you compare it to Cars 2, was it better?
Yes.
Okay, that's a silver lining I'll accept. But yeah, I think everybody's lists are different for Pixar movies. I think we've all grown up with them. It's so cool to see, like in Kingdom Hearts, how there's going to be 2 Pixar worlds with, I forgot, Monstropolis and,
Toy Story.
No, I believe they're calling their world Toy Box.
But still, Toy Story.
Yeah, so, I mean, what can we say? I mean, one of the people behind the company is was it leaving or retiring?
He's leaving because after everything's been going on, he's stepping down. Pretty much, he's stepping down away from it.
This was a company who even and this was even a guy Lasseter who we're talking about. They even helped bring Disney's animation studios out of the water, get their hell out of the water, pretty much. And it started with Bolt and continued from there. Oh, well, I believe it started with Bolt and continued from there. And look where the animation studio is now. They're actually hiring actual people who've worked in the computer animation business and stuff like that. And to see him, it's like I told her father yesterday, we were talking about this, because he didn't know until I told him, like, it's like the world champion retiring on top. Mm-hmm. He's done everything he's possibly been able to do to change the world, and like,
oh yeah,
there's nothing else.
Yeah, that's it.
There's nothing else. He has changed the animation world for the better.
Oh yeah, he has.
And Pixar's
he's still somebody I look up to, pretty much. John Lasseter is still somebody I look up to.
And Pixar's not even done yet. What was it? They still have, what was it, next year's Toy Story 4? I'm just like, people are doubting there'd be a third Toy Story movie. I'm just doubting Toy Story 4. Yeah, they're doing another Toy Story movie. Mm-hmm. Then there was that one they only talked about at the D23 Expo last year, which was the where the fantasy world but in modern settings.
Yeah, they're doing that pretty much. That's
where
what they're still working on.
we live it's a modern day world, but fair, like magical beings and creatures still exist.
Think of it as Shrek, but more of a modern type of thing. That's what it is.
And then it's kind of like this. Apparently, this core story is like these 2 kids going on a journey to find out more about their father who recently passed.
They're knowing more about who their father really was.
I think the guy said it best. He's like, you know those 70s like art things you see on the side of vans?
Yeah.
He's like, that's the kind of creatures that are going to be in this movie.
Yeah, and pretty much, again, they always go off of stories that, even though it's based off other people's stories, they find a way to connect them in a way. They try to find a way to connect and have that personal touch.
Yeah, personal touch, yeah. The one thing they touched on here, which I have to agree with, was that they did have that weird slump with sequels.
Yeah, they had that slump, but pretty much that's why they stated, why Inside Out became #1, because it showed that we are still here. We still do great. When we get the right people on board, we get everything we want. It's like, this is what we're capable of. It's like, we ain't going nowhere.
If these movies can make 2 grown men cry, or almost cry, I mean, that should show you something. I mean, God damn.
Hell, if it makes you cry, and you rarely cry at movies, then that should be telling you something.
Yeah. So, other than that, if you're new to the channel, you can hit that like button. If you want to talk some more about stuff like this, comment down below. If you want to share us around, share it around. And if you like just a little bit more than anybody else when it comes to him talking about Pixar movies, hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon as well.
Let us know what you guys thought. What was your guys' top 10 pretty much would be, you could probably comment down below for Pixar films. Or just, even if it's not your top 10, which one's your overall favorite Pixar film? If you have a reason behind it or anything like that, we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts or explanations of why it's your favorite. Like I said, you guys already know why Toy Story, the first one, is still my favorite. But again, just let us know what you guys thought. Put down what you thought of our reaction overall, but most importantly, thank you for watching.
So until next time, I'm Kristen.
I'm Christopher.
And this has been a very Luxo-filled episode of SRB.
See ya.
Later.
Hey guys, thanks for watching.
If you want to check out our previous reactions,
as well as our other shows,
click the playlist down below.
And if you want to check us out in the social universe,
you can check us out on Twitter
as well as Stardust
@SuperReactBros.